Okay, so good day everyone. So for today's topic, this is a continuation of our discussion for investment in associate part 1. So this is now the part 2. Okay, so let's start with the overview or review of the equity securities, type of equity securities. So let's focus our review on this part. Okay, here. So again, if the investor invests on equity securities, so if there is, the question now is there significant influence? So when you say there is significant influence, you have the uh, uh, power to participate in the policy making or in the financial and operating operations of the company. So at the same time, you own 20% to 50% of the shares for that certain company. So if you own 20 to 50% and you have the significant influence, then the investment is uh, accounted under IAS 28 or PAS 28 using the equity method. But if the answer is no, if the investment is less than 20%, the ownership is less than 20%, then the investment is accounted under IFRS 9 financial instruments, or we have the financial asset fair value through profit or loss, financial asset through fair value through OCI, and you have the unquoted instruments. Okay, so we know that under IAS 28 on our previous discussion, we use the equity method of accounting. And the income that we receive from this investment in associate is the share in profit or loss. So dividends are not considered as income account, but it is a deduction to our investment in associate account. While under IFRS 9 financial instruments, okay, these investments, the income that we receive is called dividend income from cash and property dividends. Okay, so here, under IFRS 9 financial instruments, so we have this fair value method and cost method. Cost method because this refers to the unquoted, applicable for unquoted instruments, which is recorded at cost, while the fair value method is applicable for these two classification of the financial instrument or financial asset. You have fair value profit or loss and fair value other comprehensive income. Okay, so here in this discussion, we will have a discussion, we'll focus on the this our discussion from in having a significant influence to no significant influence, or the significant influence ceases. Okay, so at the same time, uh, from F from financial instrument, from using fair value method to cost method to uh, investment in associate. Okay, so to further explain, so let's proceed with the discussion here. Okay, so you have case 1. So in case 1, you have cessation of significant influence. So it means that nawala na yung significant influence mo or ng investor for that certain company. So when is the time na mawawala yung significant influence? So basically, if your ownership will be less than 20%. So kailan mangyayari yan? If you sell the investment in associate. So for example, you have 30% ownership equity interest, but you sell the 20%, so the remaining equity interest you have in that certain corporation is only 10%. Therefore, since 10% na lang yung ownership mo with that certain corporation, you don't have already the significant influence, diba? Because you will have significant influence if you have 20 to 50% ownership. Okay, so that's another that's example of a cessation of significant influence. So when the significant influence ceases, so the investor shall discontinue the use of equity method from the date that it ceases. So therefore, if wala nang significant influence, no need to use the equity method. Okay, so ceases to have significant influence over an associate. So because wala nang significant influence, hindi na rin applicable, and we need to discontinue the use of equity method accounting in accounting the investment, because again, the investment is not anymore investment in associate because less than 20% na yung or wala na yung significant influence. So how are we going to account the investment from investment in associate na wala yung significant influence? So basically, we account the investment under IFRS 9 financial instrument. So it's either financial asset fair value through profit or loss or financial asset fair value through OCI or unquoted equity instruments. Okay, so yun yung pwede natin gawin sa investment once mawala na yung significant influence because hindi na applicable si equity method and the investment is not classified now as investment in associate. So nagiging under IFRS 9 financial instruments na siya. Okay, so how to measure the investment after the loss of significant influence? So how are we going to measure if nawala na yung significant influence? So first, according to PAS 28 paragraph 22, it provides on the date the significant influence is lost, the investor shall measure any retained investment in associate at fair value. Take note of this na once nawala na yung significant influence, if there is remaining investment in associate, so it should be measured at fair value. So the investor shall measure any retained investment in associate at fair value. So yung remaining investment. So same sa example kanina, you have 30%, you sell the 20%, naging 10% na lang yung ownership mo. So therefore, the 10% remaining ownership shares mo in that certain corporation shall be measured at fair value. Again, hindi na sa investment in associate. So the initial measurement right now is at fair value. Okay, the difference between the carrying amount of the retained investment at a date, the significant influence is lost, and the fair value of the retained investment shall be included in profit or loss, or we use the account gain or loss on remeasurement to fair value. So what happened here is yung fair value ng remaining shares mo because 'di ba according to the standard it should be measured at fair value at the date na nawala yung significant influence. So this is the fair value of the shares retained and magkano yung carrying amount ng retained investment in associate account mo. Okay, so you have carrying amount of retained investment, then that would be it's either gain or loss on remeasurement to fair value. Okay, so how to journalize the entry, okay, so of this difference between the fair value of the retained investment and the carrying amount of the remaining original investment. So this is what we are going to do in the journal entry. So that's you debit investment in associate and you credit the gain on the measurement if there is gain. If sobra yung fair value compared to the carrying amount. But if kulang yung if lesser yung fair value of the retained investment compared doon sa carrying amount of the retained investment, then merong loss on the remeasurement to fair value. So that's debit. So ang ginawa natin dito, ito yung accounting process if nawala yung significant influence. So first is kailangan nating i-remeasure the investment. So remeasure muna natin ang investment from carrying amount niya at the time na nawala yung significant influence to fair value. So ito yung ginawa natin dito. To. So ni-remeasure muna natin yung investment. Okay, so to remeasure from associate, okay, or from at cost from its carrying amount to its fair value. So ito yung ginawa, remeasure the investment first. So ito yung ginawa natin. So 'di ba ni-remeasure muna natin yung retained investment in associate account. Okay, so that's investment in associate based on the gain on the remeasurement. So ni-remeasure muna natin sa at its fair value. Then after that, we reclassify. When we say reclassify, we change the classification of the investment. So since hindi na siya qualified for investment in associate because less than 20% na lang yung interest niya based on our example, so we now reclassify the investment. It's either under the IFRS 9 financial instruments, fair value through profit or loss, fair value through OCI, or unquoted equity instruments. So ito yung nangyari, 'di ba? So after we remeasure because na-remeasure na natin at fair value, so we reclassify now the investment in associate. So ito, credit natin yung investment in associate, parang de-recognize siya. So we zero out the balance of investment in associate because hindi na sa investment in associate ngayon. So we debit a financial asset or financial instrument, financial asset at fair value to profit or loss account. So this is now the new investment. So we zero out the investment in associate and then we replace the investment into FAFVPL. So this time, yung accounting ng FAFVPL, so applicable na yung discussion natin for the previous chapters. Okay, so yun na yung applicable. So hindi na applicable yung equity method. So under here FVPL, di ba? So the subsequent measurement at fair value, if there are changes on the fair values, we recognize unrealized gain and losses through profit or loss recorded in the profit or loss. Okay, so that is what would happen. So again, if merong nawala yung significant influence ng investor for that certain corporation, first, we need to get the fair value of the retained investment because that is the initial measurement upon reclassification. And diba, we need to compute the difference between the fair value and the carrying amount of the investment, the retained investment. Then first, we need to remeasure the retained investment at its fair value, then we reclassify. So that is the process. Remeasure first, then reclassify the investment. Okay, also paragraph 22 further provides that fair value of the investment at the date it ceases to be an associate shall be regarded as the fair value on initial recognition as financial asset. So ito yung sinabi ko kanina, 'di ba? The fair value of the retained investment is now the initial recognition or initial measurement as a financial asset under FBPL or FBOCI or unquoted equity instrument. Okay, we have illustration here. Okay, so you have an entity purchased 30,000 shares of 100,000 outstanding shares of another entity representing 30% interest several years ago. So you have 30% interest for that certain, the investor has 30% interest on a certain corporation several years ago. At year end, the investment in associate, so since it's a 30%, more than 20%, so you have automatic, the assumption there is you have significant influence. So once there is significant influence, the investment is investment in associate and we use the equity method of accounting. So the investment in associate account has a carrying amount of 6 million. And on the same date, the investor sold 20,000 shares for net proceeds of 5 million resulting to a loss of significant influence. Why? Because diba, by acquiring 30,000 shares several years ago, yung equity interest ni investor is 30%. So may significant influence. Yung automatic assumption natin dito. But on the same date, the investor sold 20,000 shares. Therefore, the remaining shares na meron sa corporation is only 10,000 na lang. So therefore, that is equal to 10% of the outstanding shares of the another corporation, another entity. So therefore, since 10% na lang yung equity interest niya, ownership niya for that certain corporation, nawala na yung significant influence. So once nawala yung significant influence, the investment is not classified as investment in associate and equity method is no longer applicable. Okay, so for net proceeds of 5 million resulting to a loss of significant influence. So we sell, the investor sold the 20,000 shares, yung 20,000 shares niya for that certain corporation. Then the quoted market price for such investment, 260 per share on the date of sale. So the remaining shares, the fair value of the remaining shares or the market price, quoted market price of the remaining shares is at 260 pesos per share. Okay, so let's journalize the transaction. So let's assume that on the date of acquisition, diba, nag-purchase siya ng 30,000 shares for 6 million. Okay, so I guess because several years ago na yung acquisition, dito na lang tayo sa doon sa same sa ginawa natin dito. Okay, so first is since the sale transaction na lang tayo sa sale transaction. So the investor sold 20,000 shares for net proceeds of 5 million. So ang entry natin sale on the sale transaction, syempre we receive cash proceeds of 5 million. And ano yung binenta natin? Binenta natin yung investment in associate natin na 20,000 shares associate. So how to compute the carrying amount of the investment in associate? Since you have 6 million for 30,000 shares, so let's proportionate lang. That's 6 million times, magkano yung binenta natin? 20,000 over 30,000 shares, total shares mo. Okay, that is equal to, so I need to move this one. Okay, this is 6 million times 20 over 30. Okay, you have 4 million and yung cash na na-receive natin is 5 million. So, we receive cash, debit cash, 5 million. And then, yung value ng carrying amount ng investment in associate na benenta natin, the cost is 4 million. The carrying amount is 4 million. Then, therefore, we receive 5 million but the cost of the investment that we sell is 4 million. So, meron tayong income. We have gain on sale of investment in associate is 1 million. So, meron pa tayong gain when we sell sell the 20,000 shares. But because we sold the investor sold the 20,000 shares, the remaining shares now is 10,000. Diba? From 30,000 shares minus the 20,000 shares sold, so 10,000 na lang yung shares and the equity interest is at 10%. Therefore, the significant influence of the investor nawala na. Okay, because 10% na lang yung shares niya, equity interest niya. Okay, so anong gagawin natin dito? We need to reclassify the investment in associate because again, hindi na sa investment in associate. So again, based on the standard, di ba, we record the remaining investment in associate account at its fair value. So that is the initial measurement of the investment. But depende kung anong type of financial instrument, financial asset. It's either FVPL, FVOCI, or quoted equity instrument. Given na meron tayong market value dito, quoted market price na 260, so basically we reclassify the investment in associate to a financial asset at fair value. It's either profit or loss or OCI. But for this illustration, let's just use the profit or loss FVPL na classification. Okay, so ilan na lang yung shares na natira? So we have based on our formula ito. So yung fair value of the shares retained, so that's fair value of shares retained. That is 10,000 shares. Magkano yung fair value ngayon when the significant influence nawala? So that is 260 per share. So that's 260. Therefore, yung fair value na remaining shares, retained investment or retained shares is 10,000 times 260. So that is 2,600,000. How about the carrying amount of the investment retained? Carrying amount of retained investment. Okay, we have that's 6 million times 10,000 shares divide 30. So proportionate lang natin, divide, ito yung natira, 30,000. So that is, since 6 million, 4 million, this is 2 million. Okay, therefore, yung fair value nga yung 2.6, tsaka yung carrying amount ng retained investment 2 million. So ano to, gain or loss? So we have gain on remeasurement. So again, first step, accounting in the to account this type of transaction, we need to remeasure first the retained investment to its fair value. So that's gain on remeasurement to fair value. That is 600,000. So dapat negative tong 2 million. So Okay, 600,000. This gain on remeasurement. So again, the first step is to remeasure the investment to its fair value. Therefore, the entry for this is, that is, investment in associate. So, ni-remeasure muna natin yung investment associate account to its fair value. That's 600,000. And then credit gain on remeasurement. Remeasurement. Okay, gain on remeasurement to fair value. So that's 600,000. So after we remeasure the amount of the investment in associate, so meron tayong additional debit na 600,000 plus yung remaining carrying amount niya na 2 million. Therefore, the total fair value now of the investment in associate is 2,600,000, which is equal to its fair value. So right now, since we have remeasured already the investment in associate account, so what's the next step? We need to reclassify the investment in associate. So in this illustration, we reclassify the investment in associate to financial asset through at fair value through profit or loss. So let's FA FBPL, that's 2,600,000, and then we close the investment in associate account. We zero out its balance at 2,600,000. Okay, so that's it for this transaction. So if there another information for the transaction, so we account the investment now under financial asset FBPL. So we subsequently, this is the initial measurement of the investment, and we subsequently measure the investment under FBPL at fair value. Okay, so this is how we account this type of transaction when there's a cessation of significance influence. Okay, so from equity method, from investment in associate, okay, because nawala yung significant influence, naging IFRS and financial instrument. So under FBPL, FBOCI, and unquoted equity instrument. So this fair value method and cost method. Okay, so we are done with this illustration. So this time, what if baliktad yung case, di ba? Yung investment, si investor nag-purchase ng 10% shares muna, di ba, for that certain period. So since 10% lang yung ownership niya, so it's either FBPL, FBOCI, an unquoted equity instrument. But nangyari after on the next year, second year, nag-purchase siya ng additional 20%. So by purchasing additional 20%, total of 30% na yung investment niya for the corporation. So automatic, meron na siyang significant influence. So from here, financial instrument IFRS 9, tapos naging 30% yung yung equity interest niya. So this time, we account the investment now, not FBPL, FBOC, and quoted, but investment in associate. Because why? Because meron ng significant influence. Umabot na siya ng 30%. And the accounting method to use is the equity method. So this, baliktad yung nangyari dito. From 10%, naging 30%. Okay, kanina, yung example natin, from 30%, naging 10%. Okay, so this is the case. So ito yung tinatawag natin na investment in associate achieved in stages. Ito yung actually I mentioned this with the part 1 discussion. So ito yung investment in associate achieved in stages. Why? Because at first hindi naging associate, but on the next period or in the next yes period, okay, na-achieve na yung threshold of 20% for investment in associate. Okay, so here under fair value method and cost method, okay, under here, the investor does not share in the profit and loss of the investee. Therefore, no entry is required if the investee reported net income or net loss. Take note that our income under IFRS financial instrument is the dividend income. So every time we receive dividend, that's an income on our part. But if the corporation or the entity or the investee has income, we don't recognize share in its profit because again, our income is through dividend income. And while under investment in associate, the income here is coming from the share in profit or loss. So the dividend is not considered as income, but it is a deduction on your investment account. So again, take note, under fair value method and cost method, the investor does not share in the profit of the investee and loss of the investee. Therefore, no entry is required if the investor reported net income or net loss. So we don't prepare journal entry if the investee reported net income or net loss. Okay, so again, with the citation kanina, from 10%, naging 10% yung equity interest mo. Okay, ang tawag doon is investment in associate achieved in stages. So you started with this uh, type of investment, tapos nadagdagan yung interest, naging investment in associate. So the investment in associate achieved in stages actually is not covered by PAS 28. However, this is parallel to a business combination achieved in stages. So the same with the application of business combination achieved in stages. So this will be discussed in your higher accounting. So this PFRS 3 or IFRS 3, that's business combination, that's paragraph 42 provides that in business combination achieved in stages, the acquirer or on the part of the investment associate, the investor shall remeasure the previously held equity interest at fair value and the resulting gain or loss in profit or loss. By inference, this fair value approach should be followed when an associate is acquired in stages. Okay, so although it's not covered under PAS 28, but the application under PFRS 3, yun yung sinunod ng this transaction, type of transaction achieved in stages. So by inference, we need to follow the fair value approach. So what do you mean by fair value approach? Okay, so here, fair value approach, the existing interest in the associate is remeasured at fair value with any changes in the fair value included in profit or loss. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Diba? From 10%, nagdagdag ng 20%, so naging 30% yung total equity interest niya. This existing interest, this refer to the 10%. Okay, yung hindi pa associate. So the existing interest in the associate, yung 10% na initial investment natin is remeasured at fair value with any changes in the fair value included in profit or loss. Okay, so yung 10% natin, we need to remeasure it at its fair value from the time na nagkaroon na tayo ng significant influence. And any changes on the amount of the fair values of the existing interest shall be included in your profit or loss. So meron din tayong tinatawag ito gain or loss on remeasurement because this is a remeasurement. Second, you have, however, if the existing interest, yung 10% daw natin, is accounted for at fair value through OCI. So if the classification of the 10% interest is through OCI, FVOCI, any unrealized gain and unrealized loss at the date the investee becomes an associate is reclassified to retained earnings. Diba? If you have remembered, diba, doon sa mga previous discussions natin under FVOCI, so if there are changes on the fair values, we recognize unrealized gain and unrealized losses under OCI. And under equity instrument, the unrealized gain and losses, once recognized, once realized, okay, once masold yung investment natin under OCI, the cumulative unrealized gain and unrealized losses will be recycled to your retained earnings if equity instrument siya, di ba? If equity securities siya. Okay, so this is the application also. Once the existing interest is classified under through OCI, FVOCI, any unrealized gain or unrealized loss at the date the investee becomes an associate is reclassified to retained earnings because the reclassification is also some type of derecognition because diba we reclassify, tinanggal natin yung investment account na OCI, we change it, reclassify it to investment in associate. Okay, so that's why it's some sort of derecognition din yun. We derecognize the financial asset FVOCI na instrument, equity instrument. So again, the unrealized gain and or losses at the date the investee becomes an associate is reclassified to retained earnings or recycled to our retained earnings. Third is the fair value of existing interest. Yung fair value daw ng 10% interest natin, take note fair value. Fair value of the existing interest plus yung cost ng additional 20% interest na inacquire natin, okay, constitutes the total cost of the investment for the initial application of the equity method. So, yung fair value ng existing interest na 10% plus the cost of the 20% additional interest acquired, okay, if i-total natin yung dalawa, that will be the total cost of the investment for the initial application of the equity method. So, if you could remember on our part 1 discussion, balikan ko dito, based on our formula, yung comprehensive formula, di ba ito? Ito yung additional 20% interest natin. Ito yung existing interest at fair value. So, that is the total cost of the investment. Okay, so this is the formula. So, applicable na yung fair value of existing interest because nandito na tayo sa achieve investment in associate achieved by stages. So ito yung acquisition cost ng 20% additional, ito yung fair value ng existing interest, yung 10%, yung 10%. Okay, so here, so that constitutes the total cost of the investment or the initial measurement of our investment in associate account. That is the beginning balance or the starting balance of our investment in associate account. Letter D, the total cost of the investment for the initial application of the equity method minus the CANA acquired at the date significant influence is obtained equals excess of cost over carrying amount or excess net fair value. So ito na yung formula, ito yung ibig sabihin niya. 'Di ba? You have the acquisition cost, you have the total cost of investment minus doon sa CANA natin, carrying amount of net assets acquired. That would be excess of cost over CANA, and if there are undervaluations, this would be attributable either dito sa apat, and pwede din if the fair values will exceed your cost. So dito excess of net fair value over cost. Ito yung ibig sabihin ng letter D. So let's have an illustration. So let's have first from cost method to equity method because 'di ba our investment if less than 20% pwede under FA, FVPL, FVOCI and unquoted. So yung dalawang FVPL and FVOCI is under fair value method, yung unquoted under cost method. So what if cost method yung ginamit natin to equity method? So, 'di ba? So ni-reclassify natin yung investment from a financial instrument na unquoted equity instrument to investment in associate. Okay, so this is an example. So on January 1, 2019, an investor acquired 10% interest in an investee for 2 million. Therefore, on January 1, 2019, 10% pa lang yung equity interest niya for the investee. So, binili niya at 2 million. The investment is accounted for under cost method. So, it has stated that under cost method yung accounting because the investment is unquoted. So, hindi available yung market price ng investment. That's why unquoted. It's measured at cost, initially at cost. Okay. So, on January 1, 2021, the investor acquired, ito na, on January 1, 2021, the investor acquired further 20% interest in the investee for 4 million. So, 2 years after, di ba, nag-acquire ulit si investor ng 20% interest worth 4 million. On such date, the carrying amount of the net assets of the investee is 18 million. So, starting January 1, 2019 to December 31, 2020, the investment is still unquoted equity instrument. But starting January 1, 2021, because nagdagdag ng 20% plus the existing 10%, the total equity interest now is 30% na. So, starting January 1, 2021, investment in associate na yung investment natin. Okay, so any excess of cost over carrying amount is attributable to undervalued equipment with remaining useful life of 5 years. So, if there's a difference between if there's an excess of cost over the CANA, so yung lahat ng balance is attributable to undervalued equipment or undervalued depreciable asset. Okay, so on January 1, 2021, the 10% existing investment has a fair value of 2,500,000. So on January 1, 2021, the fair value of the 10% interest last 2019 is naging 2,500,000. Yung cost niya 2 million, ngayon naging 2,500,000 na. Okay, so the investor reported the following net income and dividends. You have 2019, 2020, 2021, 3 years. So you have 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. You have 800,000 cash dividend, 1 million for 2020 and 2 million for 2021. Okay, so how do we account for this? So let's start with preparing journal entry. So it's very important that you know how to journalize the transactions here. So let's start with 2019. 2019, the investment is under unquoted equity instrument pa. So IFRS 9 pa yung applicable dito. So on January 1, 2019, at the date of acquisition, yung entry natin is investment in shares. Okay, ilan yung amount? Magkano yung amount? 2 million. 2 million yung bili natin for the 10% interest. That's credit cash. Okay, next transaction 2019, dito tayo sa income tsaka sa cash dividend. Okay, di ba? If the investment is under IFRS 9 financial instruments or under unquoted equity instruments, the net income of the investee, we no need to journalize the entry because again, wala tayong share if hindi tayo investment in associate. So if less than 20% yung ownership natin. So 'di ba, we don't have to prepare journal entry based on the net income of the investee. So sa net income, walang entry. Again, as investment under unquoted equity instrument, yung income natin is through dividends. Yung income natin is galing sa dividend. So that's dividend income. But wala tayong share sa profit or loss ng investee natin. So therefore, no entry for the income, but we need to have the entry for cash dividend. So cash dividend, 800,000 lahat, magkano lang yung share natin dito? So we only have 10% share, di ba? 2019, 10% pa lang yung share natin, okay, from the investee. So that's 800,000 times 10%, that's 80,000. So your entry natin, we receive cash dividend, we credit dividend income. Okay. So that is 800 times 10% because 10% lang yung equity interest natin. Okay, that's 80,000. Okay, meron pa bang transaction for 2019? I guess wala na eh. Yun lang yung journal entries natin. For 2020, still unquoted equity instrument pa rin because again, 2021 pa naging associate. So that's 2020. So yung entry natin, yung dividend income lang din because again, 2020, although may net income but wala tayong share dito because our investment is classified as unquoted equity instrument. So under IFRS 9. So that's cash, dividend income, that's 10% of the 1 million. Diba ito 1 million. So that is 100,000. So that's 1 million times 0.10. That's 100,000. Okay, meron pa bang transactions for 2020? So wala na. The next transaction happens on January 1, 2021. So anong nangyari sa January 1, 2021? Okay, you purchase additional. Okay, you purchase additional shares, 'di ba? So you purchase additional shares of 20%. So anong gagawin natin dito? So let's record first the acquisition of the new shares, 20% shares. So January 1, 2021. So yung entry natin dito, we purchase additional 20% interest in the investee for 4 million. So automatic, the investment account is associate na because 20% na siya. Investment in associate, that's 4 million. Diba? The cost is 4 million. Then credit cash. is 4 million. Also, on January 1, 2021, since the investment is now considered as investment in associate, diba, based on the as-if fair value approach, we need to remeasure, reclassify the existing interest. Diba? Existing interest, diba, according here, okay, the existing interest in associate is remeasured at fair value with any changes in fair value included in profit or loss. So, again, yung cost ng 10% interest natin is only 2 million. But the fair value of the existing interest at the date nung nagka-significant influence na on January 1, 2021 is naging 2,500,000. Therefore, there's an increase of 500,000. So, anong gagawin natin? Remeasure muna natin yung 10% interest from 2 million to 500,000. So, initially, meron tayong 2 million investment in shares. So, remeasure muna natin. Dapat mo equal siya to 2,500,000 which is yung fair value. So, that is investment, the difference, investment in shares. Okay, remeasure muna natin. That's 500,000, di ba? Yun yung difference. You have fair value to 5, the cost is 2 million. So, that's 500,000. Then, anong tawag dito? That is gain, di ba? Gain on remeasurement because we remeasure the investment to its fair value. So, gain on remeasurement. So, that is 500,000. So, after we have remeasured the investment in shares, this time, di ba, hindi na sa investment in shares. Dapat investment in associate na sa. Di ba, take note kanina, di ba, dapat yung fair value of the existing interest plus the cost of the additional interest. We already have recorded the cost of the additional interest, 4 million. Right now, we need to get the fair value of the existing interest to get the total cost of investment, which is the initial application of the equity method. So this time, we have remeasured the investment in shares or the unquoted equity instrument. So now, we reclassify. So we reclassify the investment in shares to investment in associate. So ilan yung balance ng investment in shares natin? That's 2 million debit here. Another debit here, 500,000. So the total balance now is at fair value 2,500,000. So reclassify natin to investment in associate. Okay, ilan yung amount? That's 2,500,000. And then we recognize, we zero out the balance of your investment in shares. Why? Because diba hindi na sa investment in shares, naging associate na sa. We reclassify now the investment. That's 2,500,000. Okay. So starting January 1, 2021, naging associate na. So, diba pag investment in associate na, yung share ng income, net income ng associate, meron na tayong share doon, di ba? Because under investment in associate, our income is based on the share in profit. And the cash dividend is now considered as return of capital or deduction of our investment. So, let's account first the net income and the cash dividend. So, here, ilan yung share natin sa ating net income? So, right now, ilan na yung equity interest natin? That's 30% na. Okay, so we have net income of 4 million times 30%. That's, I think, 1,200,000. So our entry now for the share in the profit is investment in associate. That's, kano yun, 4 million times 30% na, di ba? 20% dati plus the existing 10%. That's 1,200,000. Then we credit investment income. Investment income, 1,200,000. Next is the dividend. Our share from the dividend. So we have 2 million cash dividend. Our share now is 30%. So how do we account the dividend under investment in associate or equity method? That is deduction of your investment account. So we receive cash because it's a cash dividend. That's 2 million times 30% our share. So that is 600,000. And cash dividend is accounted as deduction to our investment account. So that's why we credit investment in associate. That is 600,000. Okay. Next transaction. So we need to use the formula, comprehensive formula. So let's just copy the comprehensive formula here. Okay, let's transfer it here. Okay, this is now the comprehensive formula. Okay, you have acquisition cost of the additional investment, 'di ba? Meron tayo doon yung 4 million. Ito yung additional 20%. So that's 4 million. Then fair value of existing interest, 'di ba? Ito na 'yon, yung ni-reclassify natin. That's 2,500,000. That is 2,500,000 is the reclassification. Therefore, the total cost of investment or the initial measurement of our investment is 6,500,000. Yan yung kana natin, di ba? So, based on the problem, so on that such date, the carrying amount of the net assets of the investee is 18 million. So, 18 million yung kana ng associate natin. But our share is only 30%. So, that's kana. So, that's kana times equity interest. So, that is negative 18 million times yung share lang natin, 30%. Okay, so that is okay. Meron bang excess of cost over kana? So that's 6.5 minus the 5.4. So meron tayong 1,100,000 excess over kana. So anong sabi sa problem? So any excess of cost over carrying amount or kana is attributable to undervalued equipment with the remaining useful life of 5 years. Therefore, the 1,100,000 is attributable to the depreciable asset or the undervalued asset is the equity interest. Okay, therefore the 1,100,000 is attributable to undervalued depreciable asset or the equipment. So in this case, be careful that no need to multiply it to the equity interest. Diba? No need to multiply it to the equity interest. Why? Because again, this is now the excess of cost over kana, 1,100,000. So therefore, the total or the whole amount of the excess of cost over kana is attributable to the undervalued depreciable asset. So that is 1,100,000. Therefore, wala tayong undervalued land, wala tayong inventory, wala tayong goodwill. Therefore, the excess of that fair value over cost is wala din. Okay, so ito yung kailangan yung bantayan. So in this problem, no need to multiply the equity interest from 1,1 because again, sabi dito sa problem, the excess of cost over carrying amount is attributable to undervalued equipment with remaining useful life of 5 years. Okay, so based on this illustration, since we already computed the amount here, so since the excess of cost is attributable to undervalued depreciable asset, we need to compute the undervalued depreciation. Okay, so since the remaining useful life is 5 years, so we just need to divide the 1,100,000 divide 5 years. So we have undervaluation of depreciation of 220,000. Therefore, what is the entry? Okay, if merong undervalued depreciation, so our entry right now is debit investment income is a deduction our income account, that is 220,000. Okay, and credit to our investment account, investment in associate account. That is 220,000. Okay, so meron pa bang ibang transactions? I guess ito lang yung journal entries natin for 2020. Okay, so from 2019, 2020, hindi pa investment in associate. 2021, naging investment in associate na. Okay, so if we try to compute for the carrying amount of the investment in associate account, okay, so yung question pwede dito. So on 2019, how much is the carrying amount of investment in associate account? The answer is 0 because again, hindi pa investment in associate on 2019. On 2020, how much is the carrying amount of investment in associate account? The answer is still 0. Why? Because on 2020, hindi pa investment in associate account yung investment natin. Okay. Another question, 2019, how much is the share in profit in 2019? The answer is 0 because again, yung investment natin unquoted equity instrument, hindi associate. So, wala tayong share sa net income. Okay. So, on 2019, how much is the income account? The answer is 80,000. Dividend income. This is an income account. On 2020, how much is the income account? The answer is 100,000. Okay. So, on 2020, how much is the carrying amount of the how much is the investment income? The answer is 0 because 'di ba wala tayong investment income dito on 2020 and 2019. The investment income starts on 2021 nga naging associate na yung investment natin. Okay, on 2021, how much is the carrying amount of the investment? So again, investment in associate. So let's use the T account. So T account natin. Okay, since 1 year lang, yung 2021 lang yung gawa natin. Okay, so initial measurement at cost. So basically yung 20% natin, so let's yung 20% natin yung 4 million. Then yung fair value of existing shares, 'di ba? Yung entry natin dito naka-debit yung investment in associate, yung reclassification. Okay, share in profit, may share in profit ba tayo dito? Yes, meron ito. Investment in associate, investment income, that's 1,200,000. Okay. Excess of net fair value over cost based on our formula, wala. 0. Okay. Share in loss, wala because may profit na tayo, wala nang loss. Share in dividends, meron ba? Yes, meron. Okay, ito. Diba? So, deduction to our investment associate. Credit, 600,000. That's why credit to 600,000. Next, you have undervalued depreciable asset. Meron ba? Yes, meron. Yung 220,000. Diba naka-credit yung investment in associate. Dapat in associate to. Okay, so that is equal to 220,000 credit. Meron bang undervalued land? Wala. 0. Meron bang undervalued inventory? 0. Therefore, the total debits from your investment associate account is 7,700,000 while the total credits is 820,000. Therefore, the carrying amount of your investment in associate on December 31, 2021 is 6,880,000. This is on 2021. Okay, that is the answer if ang yung question is carrying amount of investment in associate. So you just need to prepare the T account. Once you know the journal entry, di ba, you have journalized all the transactions, it's very easy. Okay, you can really compute the correct amount. Okay, so next, we compute the investment income account. Let's use the T account for investment income account. Okay. Okay, meron bang share in profit on 2021? So again, this is only applicable for 2021 because investment income is applicable for investment in associate using equity method. Share in profit, meron ba? Yes, meron, di ba? We credited investment income account here. Credit, 1,200,000. That's excess and fair value, net fair value over cost, wala. Wala tayong excess based on our formula. Undervalued depreciation of asset, yes, meron, di ba? We debited investment income account here. So that's okay. So investment income account. Okay, so wala tayong undervalued land, wala tayong undervalued inventory. Therefore, yung total credits natin, 1,200,000. Yung total debits natin, that's 220,000. Therefore, the balance of our investment income for 2021 is equal to 980,000. Okay. Another question. On December 31, 2021, how much is the total amount of income that should be presented in your profit or loss? Okay. on December 31, 2021, how much is the total income to be presented in the profit or loss? So, investment income, yes, presented in profit or loss. Okay. And, di ba, meron tayong gain on the remeasurement. This is also presented in your profit or loss. Therefore, the answer should be 980,000 plus 50,000, 500,000. That would be 1,030,000. Okay, if the question is total income in profit or loss, but if the question is how much is the investment income balance, this is the answer, 980,000. Okay, so okay, that's it for this case 2, cost method to equity method. What about case 3? Let's say from fair value method to equity method. So it's either fair value to profit or loss or fair value through OCI. But in this illustration, the investment is accounted under OCI. So on January 1, 2019, investor acquired 10%. 10% lang yung muna. So therefore, hindi sa under past 28 or equity method or investment in associate. So 3 million. But so the investment is accounted at FVOCI. The fair value of the investment on December 31, 2019 is 4 million. Okay. So take note that the equity instrument classified under FVOCI is initially measured at fair value plus transaction cost and subsequently measured at fair value. Therefore, this is the fair value plus, although walang transaction cost. So this is the initial measurement and the subsequent measurement is at 4 million. So therefore, we need to recognize unrealized gain and realized losses if there are changes on the fair values. Okay, since OCI, under OCI, unrealized gain, unrealized loss under OCI. So on January 1, 2020, the investor acquired a further 30% interest in the investee for 8,500,000. So ano nangyari dito? After 1 year, nagdagdag si investor ng 30% interest. Therefore, the total interest now is 40%. Yung 10% last year, yung 30% is 2020. So for 8,500,000. Such date, the carrying amount of the net asset, the CANA of the investee is 25 million. The fair value of the net assets of the investee is equal to the carrying amount. So, yung carrying amount ng mga assets saka yung fair value ng asset is equal, but any excess of cost over carrying amount is attributable to goodwill. So, kang goodwill lahat if may excess of cost over CANA. Okay, the investee reported the following net income and cash dividend for 2019 and 2020. Take note that 2019 FVOCI yung classification ng investment natin dito. So therefore, walang entry for net income. Then this is a dividend income. Okay, 3,500,000 times the 10% share. Okay, so let's have a journal entry. 2019. So that's acquisition, date of acquisition, that's financial asset under FVOCI. That's cash. Magkano yung bilhin natin? That's 3 million. Okay, 3 million. Okay. Next, on December 31, 2021, the fair value of the investment is naging 4 million. Therefore, there are changes on fair value, so we need to recognize unrealized gain, unrealized loss. Since from 3 million naging 4 million, so that's gain on our part of the investor or the part of the investor. So our entry, that's additional to our investment account, FAFVOCI, then credit unrealized gain, OCI. So that is 1 million, the difference. Next, under 2019, you have net income. Wala tayong entry dito because, diba, 10% lang. Okay, no entry for 5 net share in net income or profit. But under dividend income, this is considered as dividend income on the part of the investor. So, cash, dividend income, at what amount? So, that's 10% of the dividend declared, dividend income. So, that is, kano yan? 4 million, 3,500,000 times yung share natin 2019 10% pa lang. Okay, that's 350,000, 350,000. Meron pa bang entry for 2019? Think wala na. Okay, so let's proceed on the date of reclassification, January 1, 2020. Diba? On January 1, 2020, naging associate na. Let's account first the additional purchase of 30%. So, the additional purchase of 30%, that's investment in associate na because 30% yung pinurchase. Credit cash, total amount is 8,500,000. Okay, the good thing in this case, because the existing, di ba, according to as if fair value approach, the existing interest should be recorded at its fair value. Because our classification of the instrument before naging associate is FVOCI, the subsequent measurement is already at fair value. Therefore, no need to remeasure the investment, the OCI, because naging fair value na siya, yung amount niya. So, no need to remeasure. So, yung gagawin na lang natin dito, we need to reclassify the investment na because naka-remeasure na siya. Okay, so we need to reclassify the investment. So, how to reclassify the investment? The 10%, so that is investment in associate na yung 10% natin. Then, de-recognize natin yung fair value financial asset, FVOCI. So, remove na natin. So, that's magkano yung fair value? 4 million na, di ba? 4 million na. 3 million plus 1 million, that's 4 million. Okay. Because we de-recognize the FVOCI account, di ba? Pag once ma-recognize, any cumulative unrealized gain and unrealized losses is recycled to our retained earnings, di ba? Because it's an equity instrument. So, pag equity instrument, once ma-recognize, so this is a recognition. Why? Because we remove the FVOCI investment, FVOCI. So, by recognizing, by removing, by zero outing the balance of FVOCI, it's a recognition. So, the cumulative unrealized gain, unrealized losses will be recycled, reclassified to your retained earnings. So, based on our entries on 2009, meron tayong unrealized gain na OCI 1 million. So, because na-recognize on 2020, we need to reclassify the unrealized gain OCI to our retained earnings. So, ito yung entry natin. So, we zero out the balance of unrealized gain OCI, that's 1 million. Kanino natin i-recycle? Kang retained earnings. So, we credit retained earnings. That is 1 million. Okay. Next entry natin, doon na tayo sa share ng income tsaka nung dividend. Okay, so share ng net income, since associate na, yung income natin is from the net income ng associate natin. Yung share natin 40% because 30% plus the 10%, so 40% na yung interest natin. So entry, pag may share in profit, that's investment in associate, credit investment income. Okay, that is equal to, magkano yung income? 6 million times 40%. That's 240,000. 2,400,000. Then entry for the dividends, that is deduction cash. Deduction on your investment account, so credit investment in associate. That is equal to 40% of 4 million. That's 1,600,000. 1,600,000 investment associate credit. Okay, after this one, we need to compute first yung excess of kana, meron ba? Okay, so we have magkano na yung total natin na cost of investment in associate? You have 8,500,000 plus based on the formula, gamitin natin to. Okay, let's copy this one. Okay, yung formula natin, okay, magkano yung acquisition cost? So, ito yung acquisition cost, yung 8,500,000. Okay, yung existing, that's 4 million, di ba? That's the fair value already. 4 million ito, debit. Okay, so you have 12,500,000. Magkano yung kana natin dito sa problem? 25 million, but our share is only 40%. So that is 25 million. Okay, times 20%. 40%. That's 7,500,000. So meron tayong excess of cost over can lang na 5 million. So according to the problem, any excess shall be attributable to the goodwill. So wala dito, walang zero out yung undervaluation, then the goodwill yung 5 million. So meron bang excess of fair value? So wala. Net fair value over cost, so wala because attributable lahat kang goodwill. Okay, so this is 0. Okay, excess of net fair value over cost. Therefore, wala na tayong entry gagawin. So, diba, according to our first part of the discussion, yung goodwill is included in the carrying amount of the investment and not amortized. However, the entire investment in associate, including the goodwill, is tested for impairment at the end of each reporting period. Therefore, the 5 billion is already included in the carrying amount of the investment. Wala tayong gagawin na entry. We don't amortize, but it is subject for impairment every year. So, impairment, di ba? Impairment loss. Okay, merong impairment loss if the carrying amount of the investment in associate is greater than your recoverable amount. Recoverable amount is higher between the fair value less cost of disposal and value in use. Okay, so if you try to compute the ending balance of investment in associates, so let's just check the entries. So you have debit plus another debit here. Okay, another debit. Then naka-credit 1,600. Therefore, the balance of your investment in associate account on 2020 is 13,300,000. How about the investment income? So let's find the investment income. You have, okay, ito lang, 2,400 lang, 'di ba? Yung naka-credit 2,400, share in profit lang yung investment income based on the entries. Okay, so yes, that's all for this discussion for this topic. So I hope you have learned something. So thank you for listening.